Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Starcub Review. I'm your host, as always, Starcub, and this is my second book review for today, and that is on another Terry Pratchett novel, Discworld novel, and this time it is on Reaper Man, which was absolutely fantastic. I absolutely loved Reaper Man, but I will let you know that in a review after the introduction, and I'll see you after that. Alright, guys. Okay, so I'm back. So, I read another novel, Terry Pratchett Discworld novel, and that is Reaper Man, as I said. Now, I did it with the audiobook for this one as well, and man, did I love this one. Reaper Man was hilarious. Absolutely fantastic. I had so much fun with Reaper Man. It is very much like the level of hilarity from one of his other novels, Eric. The humor in Reaper Man is just hilarious, and I'm so fascinated that we actually get to know, personally me, because I had no idea, but you find out about the auditors of reality, and they're the watchers that ensure everything on the Discworld, everyone obeys the rules, and they're really, really funny. The conversations that these auditors have are just hilarious. Like, you can't garner a personality, because if you garner a personality, you just get binked out of existence. It's really, really. I could not believe what I was reading. I was just so engrossed, and the fact that Death starts getting a personality. So he then gets fired because he's getting a personality, and he leaves his home, and he basically he has the his persona Bildor, and he basically works on a farm for this elderly woman, Miss Flitworth, and then of course we're introduced to a whole bunch of other characters that were just hilarious. Renata Flitworth, hilarious. Auditors of Reality, they were really, really hilarious, and they were really fun to learn about. Azrael, New Death, comes into the picture, because now obviously the old Death has been fired. They've got to bring in a new Death to, keep the cycle of death going. Death of Rats is back in it. Yay! I love the Death of Rats. Windle Poons, oh my god. Windle Poons, what can I say about Windle Poons other than the fact that that character, Windle Poons, every time I heard Windle Poons, I could not stop myself laughing. Even the audiobook did Windle Poons so hilariously. Every time I heard Windle Poons, I would laugh, because seriously, it was hilarious. And when he's in the book and he's talking and whatnot, he just comes off really just hilarious. You got Mustrum Ridcully, the librarian, the senior wrangler, the bursar. You got all that sort of stuff. Miss Cake, Reg Shoe, Sheppel. But what is fascinating about this one is the fact that I never knew that in 1996 they did there was an animated short on this, only for 7 minutes, and I've just seen it, and I never even realized it. It was called Welcome to the Discworld, and it was a very small snippet of Reaper Man with the Auditors of Reality, Death, and obviously it basically does only a small fraction of his of Terry Pratchett's Reaper Man. Just a small bit in 7 minutes, but also it talks about the great space turtle, the great Artuan, and the 4 turtles on his back holding the Discworld. And I just watched it, and I honestly cannot remember if I ever watched it back in 1996, and I don't think I ever did, because the first introduction I ever had was soul music, which was absolutely fascinating, and ever since, that's what made me fall in love with Terry Pratchett. But like I said in my previous video, I thought Terry Pratchett did animation, not novels, until many years later I find out, because I'm such a boob, that Terry Pratchett is a novelist. So you can see where I was just, so many years have passed and I'm like, Terry Pratchett's actually a novelist, duh. But yeah, you get fascinating characters in this, and it's basically also Death of Fleas is a new one in it as well. But it's hilarious because it's basically Death basically leaves, works on a farm, but he spends his time knowing that the new Death is going to be after him at some point when his life comes to an end. So he's going to spend it. So he starts garnering more of a personality, and you get the drift. If people have read it, then they'll know straight away. But for me, I was blown away by how funny it was, and know more about the Unseen University, which was really good too. Windle Poons, as I said, he was absolutely fascinating. And then Windle Poons has to go and find Death before it's too late, and all this weird and wonderful and wacky stuff happens in this book, and I honestly, it's genius. And I think, in my personal opinion, I think Reaper Man, I really, really loved Reaper Man. I have to say this because I think Reaper Man was my favourite over soul music. Really do. Eric and Reaper Man both beat out soul music. Eric and the Reaper Man were hilarious. Soul music, absolutely loved, but I think Reaper Man actually takes the cake. Reaper Man to me just was much more of a hilarious ride, and reminded me so much of Eric. It's a 10 out of 10 for me for Reaper Man. I mean, at this point, I'm gonna keep reading more Terry Pratchett, but I want to hear from everybody else what they think is what's the next best read in the Discworld series. I know there's Mort, which is part of the Death series in the Discworld novels. So I could go on to Mort next, but let me all know below. Don't forget, I've got 2 links down below in the description, one for my Instagram, one for my TikTok. I haven't posted lately with all the controversy and whatnot, but I do post every now and then, so I will be posting throughout the week this week for sure. But this was a short and sweet one. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and everyone new to my channel, thanks so much for tuning in, and my new subscribers that have come in the last few hours. That makes me happy. It really, really does. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. And the comment on my soul music review, thank you so much for posting the comment. That was really good to hear that. So I'm really excited. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you all with some new videos very, very soon. Alright, guys. Ciao.